Meek Mill went from chart-topping rapper to Diddy's alleged poolside protege, and now the receipts are spilling faster than champagne at a bad boy party. Matching outfits, viral pool videos, a 73-page lawsuit that might have just ended his career. This isn't just another hip-hop scandal, it's a full-blown expose on fame, freak-offs, and the fall of Philly's golden child. You thought you knew Meek Mill's story? Think again. Let's unpack the secrets the industry hoped you'd never piece together. Once hailed as Philly's golden child, Meek Mill clawed his way from jail cells to chart-topping success. He was the gritty underdog with platinum dreams, and he made them real. But fame is a fragile beast. After that messy label beef with Maybach Music and the brutal L from Drake, Meek's spotlight started to dim. By 2024, he wasn't the headline. He was the footnote. And just when it felt like rock bottom, boom, the Diddy firestorm exploded, dragging Meek into the chaos.
Singer Cassie has accused hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs of and a decade of physical abuse. The two were romantically involved for years, but in a lawsuit made public today, Cassie says there was a pattern of control, drug use, and encounters.
The Diddy empire began crumbling under a tidal wave of lawsuits, accusations of trafficking, abuse, and a lifestyle straight out of a dark HBO drama. And then came the Rodney Jones reveal. A former insider turned whistleblower, Jones unleashed a 73-page nuclear lawsuit that didn't just shake the music industry, it cracked its foundation. Buried in the footnotes, a jaw-dropping detail surfaced, an alleged secret relationship between Diddy and none other than Philly's own Meek Mill. The internet wasn't ready for that. Once the allegations dropped, the internet detectives clocked in like it was overtime. Clues started pointing straight to Meek Mill's front door, with Diddy's scandals spreading faster than gossip at a barbershop. Fans started rewatching old clips and interviews through a brand new lens. Suddenly, things that once seemed innocent felt loaded with hidden meaning.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Social media sleuths dove in head first, and what they uncovered suggested the Meek-Diddy bond wasn't just industry deep. It was layered, coded, and possibly way more personal.
The singer Cassandra Ventura, known as Cassie, today filing suit against ex-boyfriend Sean Combs.
P. Diddy accused of assault by producer Lil Rod. Put up the picture full mask.
Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with rapper 5, that's redacted. He's a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Yo, Meek, we were playing around with that Michael Rubin shit. If you don't get a Twitter rant saying you about to get Lil Rod killed, you about to shoot up his block, blow his mama's house up, this is saying that you and Diddy were fornicating. What the
It was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy party.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no.
Okay, because I do.
Sean Diddy Combs isn't just a rap mogul. He's hip-hop's gatekeeper, the man whose nod could open doors or slam them shut. For hungry young artists, a moment in his orbit meant golden opportunity, exclusive networks, VIP access, and unspoken influence that dollars can't buy. Meek Mill, a Raw City-born MC fresh from prison on weapons and drug charges, saw in Diddy not just the cosign, but the bridge from street credibility to executive power. And in 2011, lightning struck. Back then, Meek was still a Philly underground legend, dropping mixtapes in back alleys, navigating probation that shadowed him for years, and living a life that could have ended his career before it even began. But when he signed with Rick Ross's Maybach Music, doors started opening. And because Ross and Diddy were in the same circles, Meek suddenly found himself swimming in billionaire waters. This wasn't just about business, it was about identity. Diddy, as a Black entrepreneur and global hustler, stood as a symbol of success in an industry that often preys on its most talented artists. For a kid like Meek, who'd seen peers disappear to violence or incarceration, leaning into Diddy's legacy wasn't just smart branding, it was confirmation. I'm out the trenches. As Meek rose through the Maybach ranks, Diddy's interest deepened. Interviews, red carpets, private blowouts, their paths increasingly overlapped. Meek still spoke the language of Philly's concrete blocks, but now he was learning boardroom moves from one of hip-hop's first billionaires. That kind of proximity isn't casual networking, it's apprenticeship and something more. By 2013, the pattern was clear. They showed up together at the Live Beach Party and the Time Warner After Party in early 2014. But these weren't forced photo ops. They were moments captured between two people who seemed to genuinely vibe. Trust wasn't just professional, it felt personal. Then in 2015, Meek's life exploded. He teamed up with Nicki Minaj, queen of both rap and pop, and dropped his sophomore album, Dreams Worth More Than Money. It smashed records, earned him his first #1 spot and a Billboard Music Award. Meanwhile, Diddy hovered in the success zone, a proud mentor basking in Meek's win. It was an era of high-profile energy and star-studded cosmic alignment. Their bond hit the studios together for Cold-Hearted, with Meek name-checking powerhouses like Jay-Z, Birdman, and Diddy himself. But off mic, that's where the headlines got murky. Public image painted them as a tight mentor-mentee pair. But behind those smiles, buzzwords like brotherhood and guardianship started sounding too light. There was chemistry there that went beyond industry utility. When Meek and Nicki split in January 2017, it was a major public blow. But what most didn't notice was who stepped in. Diddy. Photos surfaced of them partying, vacations, mansion visits, poolside champagne, all while Meek was still raw from heartbreak. To outsiders, it looked like guilt by proximity. To insiders, it felt like something else. Let's be real, hip-hop's landscape thrives on ambiguous alliances, power plays, and narratives. Mentor relationships are often transactional, but Meek and Diddy, they blurred lines. When you're coasting in VIP sections, popping bottles poolside, with your mentor right there in the frame, it raises eyebrows. Memes surfaced, fans whispered. Was it just shared admiration, or was the collaboration a private code? In Philly, where authenticity is currency, fans started dissecting body language in old clips, absent-minded shoulder touches, smiles that lingered, whispered exchanges. Their proximity at events like Live Beach and Time Warner After Party began to feel rehearsed, intimate even. These weren't one-off moments. There was consistency. No one publicly addressed it. Instead, Meek kept grinding, advocating for criminal justice reform, taking big-name stages, climbing Grammy steps. Diddy stayed in the shadows, offering mentorship in silence and smiles and photos. As Meek delivered speeches, teardrops, and red carpet moments, Diddy was never far behind, like a shadow casting approval. Fans started noticing this pattern, and in hip-hop, perception is everything. When people talk about your life, it's a storyline you can't edit. From that breakout Maybach signing to cold-hearted features to Nicki's split in 2017's poolside detox session, Meek and Diddy's relationship took shape in public but never made sense behind a strictly industry lens. Everything collapsed in 2024 when lawsuits exploded around Diddy. Longtime fans of the Miller era started rewinding Meek's entire journey. Those early inside moments at the live beach party, loaded context, those whispered booth sessions around Cold-Hearted, now Suspect. The mentorship turned microscope. The boardroom became a courtroom. But the bigger question is now public. What did Meek really know? Was he an adept protege, or was his climb fueled by a deeper bond that he'll never fully disclose? In April 2019, things took a spicy turn. The duo showed up at Coachella looking like they got dressed in the same closet, literally matching fits from head to toe. At first glance, people thought it was just a fashion fluke or a shared stylist. But the streets clocked that immediately. That photo made the rounds on social media faster than a leaked track. And then came May. A new video surfaced showing Meek chilling in Diddy's pool at one of his homes. Seemed harmless until Diddy opened his mouth. What he said flipped the energy entirely and had the internet side-eyeing their whole friendship dynamic. That moment wasn't just a viral clip. It became Exhibit B in a growing timeline of moments that seemed way too cozy for just a mentor and his mentee. When Diddy spoke about Meek in that now infamous poolside clip, the tone and choice of words didn't exactly scream just bros. In fact, it had the internet doing a collective double take. It wasn't just the vibe, it was how he said it. Social media caught fire, blogs had a field day, and the jokes came in hot. But like most viral moments, it faded into the background. By the time the 2020s were in full swing, Diddy had fully transformed into hip-hop's oil-slicked overlord, oozing wealth, power, and enough lotion to fill a pool. His legendary parties were still the hottest ticket in town, where the elite rubbed shoulders, and sometimes more. But while the mainstream stayed focused on his Forbes ranking and Grammy speeches, the real tea was boiling in the digital trenches. Internet forums like Lipstick Alley and Reddit weren't just gossip hubs. They were investigative units with no chill. Users had been documenting Diddy's every move like FBI interns, matching timestamps, cross-referencing event photos, even decoding Diddy's cryptic Instagram captions. And they weren't just watching Diddy. They had eyes on Meek too. Conspiracy threads started stacking up, loaded with screenshots, party guest list, and eerily affectionate social media comments. The whispers turned into theories ranging from industry mentorship to full-blown secret lover allegations. The deeper they dug, the more sus things looked. But what really sent the rumor mill into overdrive was when Nicki Minaj, the Barbie queen herself, and Meek's ex from his most high-profile relationship, decided to casually air things out. In a 2022 Instagram Live with Soulja Boy, yes, that's Soulja Boy, Nicki didn't hold back. She threw a side eye so hard it broke the fourth wall, dropping cryptic shade that had fans thinking she knew way more than she was saying.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the street?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no. We don't know about that.
Okay. Because I do.
In the months that followed, internet detectives started connecting the dots. The tea was brewing hot, and suddenly, names like Meek Mill and Diddy were swirling in the mix. Still, Meek didn't seem fazed. While social media speculated, he stayed posted up next to Diddy, attending his parties, letting him play the big homie role, both in public and allegedly in private. The allegations that followed made jaws drop around the globe. In rapid succession, 3 more lawsuits landed against Diddy before the year ended, each one darker and more disturbing than the last. Claims of physical abuse, trafficking, even racketeering were now on the table. By 2024, the lawsuits piled higher than a VIP bottle service tab. Diddy, the man who famously declared, "Can't nobody hold me down," was now facing the full weight of justice and public opinion, and it wasn't looking good. But perhaps the most explosive lawsuit of all came from someone who had once been a close collaborator, his former producer, Rodney Lil Rod Jones. Having spent over a year inside Diddy's inner circle while working on his most recent album, Lil Rod dropped a 73-page bombshell in court. It wasn't just another accusation. It read like a script from a psychological thriller. Drugs, drinks, non-consensual encounters, secret recordings, and a sprawling criminal enterprise allegedly operating behind the glitzy music empire. Among the many disturbing details, it was one buried footnote on page 13 that set the internet ablaze. The footnote described a prominent Philadelphia rapper who had once dated Nicki Minaj, stating that he had sexual relations with Diddy. There was no name, no specific accusation, but fans didn't need a neon sign to connect the dots. All signs pointed directly at Meek Mill. Within hours, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and every corner of the internet began pulling receipts, photos, videos, old interviews. Suddenly, everything was under a microscope. The footage of Meek and Diddy in matching outfits at Coachella, re-examined. Even Nicki Minaj's cryptic 2020 remarks about undercover brothers in the rap industry went viral again, with fans insisting she'd been dropping clues all along. Nicki's words held extra weight, especially since she had dated Meek from 2015 to 2017, right during the peak of his public association with Diddy. If anyone knew the behind-the-scenes truth, it was her. Suddenly, fans were begging for her to spill more tea. Meanwhile, Meek tried to defend himself, and fast, but his approach only made things worse. Instead of silence or legal counsel, Meek turned to Twitter. One tweet boasted about how often he had sex with women. Another tweet declared how gangster he was. And then came the veiled threats toward anyone playing with his name. It reeked of desperation. Rather than quelling the firestorm, his tweets poured more gasoline on it. The internet, now fully activated, responded with AI-generated diss tracks, memes, and video mashups, turning his defensive statements into viral content. One especially viral meme reimagined Meek and Diddy on a movie poster called Diddy, Diddy, Bang, Bang, a not-so-subtle spin on the classic Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, with far more explicit undertones. Another meme called them the Booty Brothers, a nickname that would stick like duct tape in a sauna. Meek's dream of being a hip-hop mogul was rapidly collapsing into a nightmare of internet humiliation. His comment sections turned into digital war zone. As if the memes weren't enough, notable names started chiming in. Andrew Tate, yes, that Andrew Tate, tweeted an old post of his that warned against getting close to famous people because, in his words, they're all gay and weird. The irony was thick considering Tate's own lifestyle and shirtless rants with his equally good-looking brother. Meek clapped back, bringing up Tate's own human trafficking allegations, but Tate wasn't fazed. He doubled down, saying he was just asking the same questions everyone else was. By May, Meek had clearly had enough. He unfollowed Diddy on Instagram in what looked like a damage control maneuver, but instead of sympathy, it triggered another explosion of mockery. Social media treated the unfollow like a confession. Too late now, booty bandit, one user quipped. The roasting didn't stop there. Soulja Boy, who already had beef with Meek over unrelated producer drama, seized the moment to go full savage. His tweets sent the internet into meltdown mode, reminding everyone of the allegations Meek was clearly trying to bury. Days later, Soulja Boy hopped on Instagram Live, supposedly to squash a separate issue with Metro Boomin, but somehow, Meek's name still made its way into the conversation.
And Meek Mill, mind your business. Ain't Diddy playing in your booty hole? Huh? Ain't Diddy you and your ass? Why you on my tweet? riding in Maybach truck.
Another familiar enemy pulled up with the smoke, DJ Akademiks. Now, if you know anything about Meek's long list of ops, Ak is sitting near the top with a bottle of Henny and a Twitch stream ready to go. Their beef dates back to 2017 when Meek accused Ak of not promoting his album, and things only escalated from there. By 2020, Meek was trying to cancel him like a Netflix show with bad ratings, even tweeting out threats that sounded way too real. Imagine someone who allegedly gets manhandled talking about sending hitmen. That's not gangster. That's Grand Theft Auto dialogue. Ak took it so seriously, he reportedly got the feds involved. When the Diddy Meek allegations erupted in 2024, DJ Akademiks wasted zero time jumping into the chaos like it was a Twitch exclusive pay-per-view. Within hours of Lil Rod's 73-page lawsuit hitting the net, Ak was live, Red Bull in hand, dissecting the document like a courtroom analyst on steroids. And when he hit that infamous footnote about a certain Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, oh, he stopped everything. The stream went full Maury mode, and his chat exploded like it was WrestleMania, halftime with freak-off commentary. Ak didn't hold back. He grilled Meek for tweeting about sports, politics, and astrology, everything except the spicy allegations swirling around his name. Then, like a digital detective on caffeine, Akademiks dug deep, unearthing old tweets, IG posts, and videos of every Meek Diddy interaction that now looked more suspicious than a late-night FaceTime from your ex. And the audience, they ate it up like leftover lemon pepper wings at a studio session. The Twitch stream exploded, millions of views pouring in like Diddy's liquor at a pool party, and the YouTube upload crossed 400,000 faster than Meek could hit send tweet. Clips from Akademiks' breakdown spread across social media like a freak-off rash, contagious and everywhere. What began as a tiny footnote in a lawsuit turned into a full-on hip-hop whodunit, with DJ Akademiks playing lead detective, judge, jury, and roast master all in one. And that's when the flames hit the gas. Meek didn't take the viral humiliation lightly. He started posting vague threats warning Ak to keep my name out your mouth, which only made him look more rattled, especially since he wasn't addressing any of the actual allegations. But Akademiks never wanted to miss an opportunity for chaos. Fired back hard, he joked that Meek was only mad because the rumors struck a little too close to home, flipping Meek's energy back on him faster than Diddy flipping Meek at a freak-off, allegedly. Their beef spiraled into a digital WWE match, with Akademiks calling Meek washed up, while Meek stuck to passive-aggressive subtweets. By March, Ak claimed the cops showed up at his door, allegedly tipped off by Meek, the same man who rapped about never snitching. And in a final act of surrender, Meek blocked Akademiks on X. Ak declared victory on sight, proudly claiming he'd out-tweeted the self-proclaimed Twitter finger. When federal agents swept through Diddy's mansions in March, seizing mountains of baby oil like it was contraband, Meek became the poster child for the memes. Slippery jokes flew across social feeds, painting Meek as the guy who got his shine from soaking up Puff's scent. Then came the Diddy Freak-Off participant list, which surfaced online, naming Meek as a VIP guest. When federal indictments fired off in September, charging Diddy with money laundering, racketeering, and transporting women, it felt like the whole industry sucked in a breath. Anyone who'd ever been near Puffy's billion-dollar party blast began sweating. But Meek, he was right back in the digital crosshairs. In a panic move, Meek launched his oldest defense play, blaming it all on a conspiracy. He plastered his notifications feed on a screen, insinuating bots were being coordinated to smear him and fellow celebrities. Who was behind the bots? He didn't say, but the mystery bait sounded desperate. By September 24th, things had escalated to new absurd heights. Meek announced he would pay $100,000 to anyone who could prove how his name got wrapped up in Diddy's legal web. What was meant to be a bold bet on his innocence backfired spectacularly. Social media exploded. 50 Cent, who'd been waiting in the wings, immediately capitalized. He dropped an AI-generated video featuring Meek and Diddy in cheap wigs, mocking Meek for thinking he could buy a clean name after he'd practically begged for one. The laughs came rolling in, and now even smaller influencers joined the chorus. Actor Julio McCollum got in on the action, responding to Meek's bounty offer with an embarrassing blast off the viral photo of Meek and Diddy mashing in flashy gear. On November 19, footage leaked from an over-the-top birthday bash Meek threw in 2014 at a Paris mansion, hosted by none other than Diddy. The Daily Mail obtained the clips and stories painting it as a wild, hedonistic festival. Diddy allegedly rented the venue for $25,000, laying on masked showgirls, lingerie-clad dancers, sushi served from naked models, mountains of cocaine-styled powder, and yes, baby oil smeared across marble floors and bed linens. The house manager described it as disgusting. That wasn't the memory any celebrity wants drifting on the internet, especially when they're already listed in a legal filing involving transportation and trafficking charges. By then, Meek knew the damage was irrevocable. His reputation shredded into memeable pieces. His next move was complete disavowal. He recorded a viral video distancing himself from Diddy, claiming they were never more than acquaintances. He admitted none of the wild party details and tried to reclaim control of his narrative.
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this real life.
Real life.
You know, Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard?
That Meek, yeah, Meek.
But the internet had formed an opinion. Memes have memory, and when the last threads of innocence snaps, apologies fall flat. What unfolds next will depend on one thing. Can Meek rebuild from this? Wack 100 and Loose Cannon were among the first to roast Meek publicly, clowning him for trying to disown a relationship that had been very well documented. Music videos, studio sessions, matching outfits, receipts everywhere. Let's be honest. If Meek was just another industry acquaintance, why were they twinning harder than a high school prom couple? Now isn't whether they were close, it's what kind of close they were, really. And while we might never get a clear answer, one thing is certain. Perception is everything in hip-hop. The streets, they've already made their decision. Meek's image, once polished in street credibility and battle rap bars, is now tainted by what looks like a desperate scramble to rewrite history. That Diddy's boy nickname, it sticks like duct tape in a heat wave, and in a genre where scandals are mythologized and homophobia still simmers under the surface, this one isn't going away anytime soon. This whole saga is living proof. You can beat court cases. You can win rap beefs. But you can't outrun the screenshots, party invites, and poolside clips. Whether it's all lies or just poor judgment, the damage is done. Meek Mill may never live this down, and the internet will make sure of it.